This one is 4 minutes. Another older caller supporting Harry for leaving the royal family and continuing his work, including visiting foreign countries. Harry did not leave. They pushed him out. We need to remember that. They said it in the Oprah interview.
So in conclusion, if you'd had the support, you'd still be there?
Without question.
Yeah.
I'm sad that what's happened has happened, but I know and I'm comfortable knowing that we did everything that we could to make it work, and we did everything on the exit process the way that it should have been
with
done.
With as much respect.
Respect.
Oh my God, we just did everything we could to protect them.
They wanted to do the 50-50 and everything. Harry, in his book, he said it.
Began to address Granny about the 5 options. Your Majesty, you've seen the 5 options? Yes, she said. We all had. They'd been emailed to us. 5 different ways of proceeding. Option 1 was continuance of the status quo. Meg and I don't leave. Everyone tries to go back to normal. Option 5 was full severance. No royal role, no working for Granny, and total loss of security. Option 3 was somewhere in between, a compromise, closest to what we'd originally proposed. I told everyone assembled that, above all, I was desperate to keep security. That was what worried me most, my family's physical safety. I wanted to prevent a repeat of history, another untimely death like the one that had rocked this family to its core 23 years earlier, and from which we were still trying to recover. I'd consulted with several palace veterans, people who knew the inner workings of the monarchy and its history, and they all said option 3 was best for all parties. Meg and I living elsewhere part of the year, continuing our work, retaining security, returning to Britain for charities, ceremonies, events. Sensible solution, these palace veterans said, and eminently doable. But the family, of course, pushed me to take option 1. Barring that, they would only accept option 5. We discussed the 5 options for nearly an hour. At last, the bee got up and went round the table, handing out a draft of a statement the palace would soon be releasing, announcing implementation of option 5. Wait, I'm confused. You've already drafted a statement? Before any discussion? Announcing option 5? In other words, the fix was in this whole time? This summit was just for show? No answer.
What else? In court, I don't have the transcript on what was said in court, but there was a article that was written about what Harry said in court. It was the brother who kicked him out, okay? So, quote, first and foremost, he's got a loyalty to himself. I am positive why Harry is not in the royal fold is because Meghan was just too dark for the establishment. I totally agree with what Harry has done. There's one life to live, and he's living it. Marva. Okay, so it's 4 minutes. Let's listen.
Here we go.
Right.
Marva, what do you think? Do you think that Prince Harry should check everything via Mike?
No, I think Mike Harry is just talking a whole lot of nonsense, to be truthful. I totally agree with Yasmin.
Do you think that because some people would argue that actually he has a responsibility to Britain to, help out with charities here, to do work with the royal family, to create that soft power, and actually what he's done is not only abandoned his post, but sort of crumbled that institution.
It's like the media in the UK, including the royal family, it's like the part of their stupidity that they push Harry out is completely removed from their brain. It was them who pushed Harry out. They wanted to do 50-50. They said no. Remember the printer thing? When you hear the squad saying, thank God for the printer was not working, it's during the summit. Okay? Meghan was in Canada. Harry flew to the UK to talk logistic or plan how they're going to move forward. Okay? When Harry said he wanted to do 50-50 and there's long discussion and whatnot, meanwhile, the royal family had already written. They wasted his time. They already written what they wanted for him. It's to get the hell out of there. They did not want him there.
The 5 options for nearly an hour. At last, the bee got up and went round the table, handing out a draft of a statement the palace would soon be releasing, announcing implementation of option 5. Wait, I'm confused. You've already drafted a statement before any discussion, announcing option 5? In other words, the fix was in this whole time? This summit was just for show? No answer.
Okay, so when Harry was asking, can they modify whatever was on the paper so they could put the 50-50, whatever Harry was asking for, they said, no, the printer is not working. Okay, so they made him accept what was written to get the hell out of here, out of the UK. So that part of their brain is completely removed. All right, let's continue.
Which gave Britain that soft power we talk about all the time.
Now, he's got a loyalty to himself.
That's
First
right.
and foremost, he's got a loyalty to himself.
Well, that's not a good thing, is it? Marva, that's not a good thing. You're right, he's got a loyalty to himself. He opts out the British royal family, but then suddenly announces, oh, I'm going on a royal tour of Australia.
No, it's not a royal tour.
Good.
It's been billed as a royal tour, hasn't it? You know full well it's been billed as a royal tour.
Well, I'm glad they quickly correct him on that. It's not a royal tour. Okay? He didn't get the securities and all of the things the other royal family would get if he were to go to the, represent the UK. I'm glad they correct him right there. These people are freaking ridiculous.
Oh,
check your facts.
Oh, so you haven't read a headline saying it's a royal tour?
Oh yeah, this is the popular press here which hates Harry.
Marva, what about the accusations that he's just spilling the beans on the royal family? That, yeah, okay, so he left, he's no longer a working royal and he doesn't get some of the privileges involved with that, but actually all the money he has made since has been on the basis that he is the son of the king.
Absolutely.
And the reputation that that gives him.
Well, if people want to think that he's made his money off the back of his father, I just totally don't agree with that.
Good.
I am positive why Harry is not in the royal fold is because that Meghan was just too dark for the establishment. I totally agree with what Harry has done. He moved away. There's one life to live, and he's living it.
It's interesting you think that there's a racist element to this, because actually this is an element an argument that we've heard quite a lot. Yasmin, where do you stand on this? And the reason I'm asking you is because he has now come out and basically said he didn't want to be part of the royal family since that moment he had to walk behind that coffin, since the moment that his mother died. Do you think that might shine a better light on why he left?
They're picking up things since he was younger. They keep on skipping so many other things. When the Queen was there, he wanted to help the Queen, which he did.
The decision that I have made for my wife and I to step back is not one I made lightly. It was so many months of talks after so many years of challenges. And I know I haven't always gotten it right, but as far as this goes, there really was no other option. What I want to make clear is we're not walking away, and we certainly aren't walking away from you. Our hope was to continue serving the Queen, the Commonwealth and my military associations, but without public funding. Unfortunately, that wasn't possible. I've accepted this, knowing that it doesn't change who I am or how committed I am. But I hope that helps you understand what it had come to, that I would step my family back from all I have ever known, to take a step forward into what I hope can be a more peaceful life. I was born into this life, and it is a great honour to serve my country and the Queen.
And then as soon as the Queen passed, the establishment literally, turned everything against him. They took his house. They, because Harry wanted to use Frogmore as his headquarters when he goes to the UK, because he's still dealing with charities in the UK and things like that. But what did his father do? Took Frogmore away from him. So how is Harry supposed to live his life? They wanted him, which I have said in past video, even if he stays in a freaking corner, he still needs to pay taxes on that freaking corner. So he needs to make a living to support himself and his family. What did they expect from him? And then on top of it, they're making his life so miserable and very dangerously, where he literally need to work to provide the security that he needs. So they're making him work harder, and then these people are freaking ridiculous. God, you need to do some freaking reverse on these people. They need to feel these things that they're putting on Harry and Meghan.
Well, life is not just one moment, isn't it? Is it? I mean, remember, the royal family, as was and is, there were lots of victims. The Queen's sister, Margaret, was destroyed by the fact that she wasn't allowed to marry the man she loved. And she ended up a drunk and extremely promiscuous and deeply hurt and wounded. And the Queen herself, put up with Prince Philip's interesting friendships with younger women. And
Alleged.
we are now in an age where we are not prepared to do that. Okay? So I think...
That's what she said, friendship. She didn't say anything more. She was, be careful with her wording, even though we know the truth.
Life isn't just one moment.
That's right.
I also read, and I might be wrong, but I'm sure I read this, that soon after Harry was born, I mean, we're talking about a day or something like that, Charles went off to see Camilla.
There's a rumour going around that he went to the bedside and said, "Good, we now have a spare." Essentially, we now have a spare.
No, but the hurt was accumulative. And then with the wife,
he hasn't just disappeared. What he has done, he's kind of stayed.
And you know what? Let me very quickly say.
Right in the back of the royal family.
5 months before they married, 5 months before Harry and Meghan married, I wrote a 3,000-word piece for the Times magazine in the US, saying you don't know the family you're coming into and you don't know the country you're coming into. And the last lines were, the only way they will survive is if they leave. This was 5 months before they married. You can check it out.
Let's go to another.
Wasn't... Okay, it's finished, by the way. It's finished. Wasn't this guy said something about the balcony? Was the one who was saying something about the balcony thing? These people are freaking ridiculous. Okay, she's a black caller, so that's not newsworthy. They jump on any bandwagon as long as the person have a little black in them. Pity she doesn't know that. Meghan pretend as a white woman all her life until she met Harry. What the fuck? Meghan never differentiate us. She even did a commercial about talking about seeing her mother being called the N-word. She did a commercial about that. She knew she's biracial.
A couple years ago, I heard someone call my mom the N-word. So I think for me, beyond being personally affected by racism, just to see the landscape of what our country is like right now, certainly the world, and to want things to be better. Quite honestly, your race is part of what defines you. I think what shifts things is that the world really treats you based on how you look. Certain people don't look at me and see me as a black woman or a biracial woman. They treat me differently, I think, than they would if they knew what I was mixed with. And I think that is, I don't know, it can be a struggle as much as it can be a good thing depending on the people that you're dealing with. Leaving LA, it was sort of like leaving this bubble where I was used to everything and had been exposed to everything except for a closed-mindedness that I experienced when I traveled outside of where I was from. And I think that in doing that, it just really opened my eyes to a mentality that still exists that I thought was backdated to the days of when my grandfather moved our family from Cleveland to LA, and they drove across the country and to stop and get food, whatever kind of place they were going to, and they had to go around to the back to get food for the family. You know, I thought that that was really isolated to those days that we were past, and sadly they're not. I am really proud of my heritage on both sides. I'm really proud of where I've come from and where I'm going. But yeah, I hope that by the time I have children, that people are even more open-minded to how things are changing, and that having a mixed world is what it's all about. I mean, certainly it makes it a lot more beautiful and a lot more interesting.
And then how do you know the person is the color is black? The stupidity. All right, let me black this so I don't come across more stupidity from that. All right, Gary still has his British charities. Gary still has his British charities. What are you talking about? Gary and Meghan are Team Archwell, knit team firm. They flung the couple to the wolves. At the end of the day, they wanted and expect Harry to come crawling back. That is true, penniless and rootless, as Edward did. When it didn't happen, they grew even angrier because he did what they didn't have the balls to do, escape the firm. Lots of people all over the world see Harry and Meghan for who they truly are, i.e. compassionate, funny, helpful, and smart, so much so they don't buy into this full outrage and negative narrative concocted by the mainstream media. Harry continues to engage in charity work in the UK. He did tell us, these people, they refused to listen to him. Harry told them exactly what he was gonna do, but they refused to listen to him.
What I want to make clear is we're not walking away, and we certainly aren't walking away from you. Our hope was to continue serving the Queen, the Commonwealth, and my military associations, but without public funding. Unfortunately, that wasn't possible. I've accepted this, knowing that it doesn't change who I am or how committed I am. But I hope that helps you understand what it had come to.
When they keep on saying Harry keep on trashing the royal family. No, when he goes to court, you go to win, and that's where you say your truth.
Arguments. At this point, I'm feeling very let down. It's the minority of people, especially those that read the tabloids and the press themselves. The press themselves have incited so much hatred towards myself, my wife, and even our children. That's hard to forgive. I actually couldn't believe it. I thought with all the disagreements and all of the chaos that's happening, the one thing that I could rely on is my family keeping me safe. And not only did they decide to remove my security in the UK, but they also signaled to every single government around the world not to protect us.
All right, and he backed those, whatever come out of his mouth, he backed them up. Some presenters supported Charles when he took Frogmore Cottage from Harry and Meghan, but I guess they regret it now. That's it. It's like some part of their brain is completely removed. What it must Harry to do, run royal himself. He is a prince. Whether he is working royal or not is not something that he can take on and off. How can his influence be on the back of King Charles, who himself does not have the level of star power? Harry has done the work and earned it. That's right. That's it. It's not suddenly, you silly old, that's the word here. Eric was 6 years ago, he left. Australia was yesterday. How is that suddenly? And why the F are you so triggered about a couple visiting hospital and making donation? Okay, I didn't hear what donation they made yet, but I made reference, there's a possibility they will be donating to whatever organization or charity in the UK. And I read a tweet where someone said something similar to it, and I said, I agree, they will do that. However, to confirm that Harry and Meghan or Archwell have donated to charity, I have not come across it, okay? So keep that in mind. It's none of your effing business. Okay, I salute this lady. Sometimes just one sane person is needed in the crowd full of bullies, haters, and delusional people. Respect. All right, whatever's here, that's it. Who is that man in the sofa? He must be playing havoc with his blood pressure and getting so worked up. They haven't forgot that they were forced to leave. Thank you. They were forced to leave. Harry has charisma regardless of being royal. Why do these people create a story that does not align with Harry's truth? Read his book. Okay? Again, in his book, he did say it. So all these people, the royal family has heard somehow, still hasn't made it clear why Harry made the best decision to leave. They kill his mom, but now still condoning bullying him for not allowing them to kill his wife too. Get the F out of here. Alright, so I'm gonna make this a video by itself. I read a good portion of the comments here. I've come across a lot of other video clips of discussion of Harry and Meghan, so I'm probably gonna make them one video by itself. Okay, so let's do this one.